this? Incredible! This is
The Grove Podcast.
Hot off the pitch.
Hello, this is a very joyous Tabs here, and welcome to the Growth Podcast, hot off the pitch live stream and post-match instant reaction podcast, where we'll bring you an amazing instant reaction to Arsenal games minutes after the final whistle. And what a final whistle! What a game! And this is far better than the Wolves instant reaction. I think you'll see that we're a lot happier, and there's four very big reasons as to why that is. And to join me in this celebrity pod to both eulogize about Arsenal and laugh hysterically at that lot from Middlesex up the road is Ian. How the hell are you?
Well, I'm a lot better, Tabs. You and I very bravely did one of these after that diabolical performance on Wednesday that I'm still a bit bruised from because we should be sitting here 7 points clear, but we won't think about that. We'll just focus on that fantastic performance tonight. I'm good. That was a much needed tonic tonight.
It was indeed. And I have a quiz question for you. So there's a Welsh town just in the corner of near Carnarvon, apparently. And I'll spell it out to you because I can't pronounce it. It's spelled LDLL, DLL, WLDW, LLL, WLD, LLD, LWLDL, DLL. So Ludwood. Do you know what the significance of that Welsh town is?
Yeah, I think that translates into English as Tottenham's diabolical league form or something like that.
It is their home record since November. It's their home record since November 24. It's 19 points from a possible 84. They get not only do they get battered everywhere they go, they get battered at home as well. And we gave them one hell of a battering. It was 4-1. Two goals apiece by our new signings, 2 for Eze and 2 for Gyökeres, and yeah, it was really good. And look, if you're watching live, feel free to drop a comment, leave your 3-word reviews. We might even be joined if we're lucky enough by Moz to have his 2 pennies worth. And Sinead Reelan, I think this might be for you, is on the chat going, told you.
Sinead on Wednesday said that we were going to go on and batter Spurs today. She gave us a little bit of a pep in her step on Wednesday. So, yeah, she was right. And I have to give, before I say anything else, there's a guy on Blue Sky. I put out a post at halftime saying, like, we need to stop throwing the ball into our net and otherwise we'll drop points and we won't win anything. And he said, he replied, he actually reposted it, or quote posted it by saying he was quite relaxed and that we're going to give them the run around and that we were going to win 4-1 just at half time. So
wow.
I want to tip my cap and say chapeau to you, sir.
Good. Do you have a name? Can you remember the name?
His name is Sean Heggs.
Sean Heggs.
Sean Heggs. .bsky.social.
Well done, Sean. Now, if you're like me, you're brave and you predict 4-1 before the game and you go on to another podcast and do that. That's when you really get the kudos.
No, you said 3-0 on.
No, I'm talking about Aston Villa when I predicted 4-1. And I went on an Aston Villa podcast and said we're in 4-1.
That's right, actually. Yes. I thought you meant today's game.
I know, I said 3-0. But yeah, this is Arsenal, so we don't do things by nil at the moment. And yeah, I wasn't even at 70 minutes, even at 3-1. I was not going around getting my abacus and counting those chickens, and it was. Because it was really telling because jumping straight into this, because if that had been Thomas Frank, then no, the stadium would have been emptied. So not only do they get battered everywhere they go, Arsenal empty stadiums everywhere they go, they would have left. But because of the way we've been recently, all they knew is that if they could just get one goal, which they almost did.
Yeah.
Could you imagine what that final few minutes, and we would be shitting the bed and they would have everything and the crowd were there. So they were waiting for us to shit the bed, and luckily we didn't, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So look, let's kick off as we do. So we get the lineups actually a bit earlier than normal. There seems to be a lot of that ITKs out there. So it was Raya. I think the big question was, would Eze play or Odegaard? Who would be up front? And then maybe, I think we were talking, Timber, does he need a rest? Should White play? Hincapié over Calafiori? what's the makeup of the midfield. But it was, I think he went with his current most trusted potential team who was available. So Raya, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice, Eze, and then Saka, Trossard, Gyökeres, and and then a pretty decent bench, but no Havertz on the bench and no White on the bench. So much for Instagram stories saying not injured.
Yeah. He's got into the Mikel Arteta school of misguiding people for injury news.
Yeah. Exactly. So, what did you make of the lineup? Were you happy? I mean, Rice made his 100th league appearance for Arsenal. Eze, I guess it's because Odegaard's still unfit. So, I think they would also think, well, look, he's got an amazing record against Spurs. So maybe that. Gyökeres gets the nod at front. You've got a strong bench. Yeah. How did you feel about the lineup?
Yeah, no huge surprises. It was a shame White wasn't available. Just give Timber backup, but I suppose we had Mosquera there to do that. That was a sub I thought was going to happen, especially after Timber being booked. But yeah, I think it's a much more balanced front three, isn't it? Like a Saka on the right. Madueke, to be fair, has been doing well lately on the right. Our best attack at the moment, and over the course of the season has been Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and Gyökeres up top, who was phenomenal today. I think by far his best game in an Arsenal shirt. But yeah, and in midfield, we knew Zubimendi and Rice was going to start because they always do. Eze coming in, no huge surprise because again his record against Spurs or what happened in the first game, plus Odegaard obviously not being fully fit, so and with Havertz not being around, so that was a natural selection, and the rest kind of picked itself. So yeah, very very happy.
I like the word you said, balanced. It was definitely more balanced. Saka on the right. We had. You got the runner in terms of Gyökeres who gets behind the ball, but the problem being trying to control the ball, trying to keep the ball, and all the rest of it. So I think having the likes of Trossard and Saka there really helped us. And then Zubimendi and Rice doing their things, and the Eze could sort of float in between. It felt like he was more of a support striker sort of today. He seemed to be a bit further forward, so and let Zubimendi and Rice do the midfield work, and he was sort of more supporting Trossard, which then gave us options. And look, you see where he gets his goals from, and so on. So that was good. And on his record, he scored 6 goals in the last 4 Premier League appearances against Spurs. 3, and he scored 3 and 2 at the Toilet Bowl, and stuff like that. So he's got a great record against Tottenham. So even on vibes, you've got to play him.
I think. And I have to give you, just on that, I have to give you a great stat that was texted to me via a friend of the show, Mitch, at PhD Arsenal, or Arsenal PhD. And he said that Robert Pires has the most goals for Arsenal against Spurs in the Premier League era with 7. As in one season and 2 games has gotten 5. So
and Adebayor's got 6. So he's 5 up there. So he's up there already. So if he plays them if we could play them every week, which would be marvelous because we have such a, but
if only.
But you contrast the Spurs. We caveat in the past when we play teams like Wigan, or we play Kairat or whatever. I'm not caveating anything here because this is Spurs and I don't give 2 shits what their position is, and because we've played crap Tottenham teams in the past and they have given us trouble, especially at their place. They have. It's always because it's North London derby. Even the Invincibles had trouble against really poor Tottenham teams. So I wasn't. They put out an 11 that is very average, as I said, but we've been here before, and I think. Not that I thought this was maybe going to be a tale of 2 benches. It didn't work out that way because their bench, it's who, Austin, Sousa, Oluwesi, Williams, Barnett, Roswell, Wilson, so I wasn't. Again, on paper, we should be stuffing this lot, and it worked out as it should have done. But football's unfortunately played in grass, not on paper. So but you contrast our squad and our team to theirs, and I don't care. I was happy. The more people out, the better, as far as I'm concerned, because I want to beat these lot, and that we did. So with that in mind, what was your highlight and low light of the game?
Well, I always forget about this bit.
No, it's not like we haven't been doing 106
No, no,
pods, and the first question I ask is highlight, low light. But yeah, don't worry about it. Let me surprise you with
forget
it.
about them. I forget about them on the HOTP.
Oh, right, okay.
My highlight, God, of many, I think, was that Gyökeres second goal. I really liked that second goal. The first one was probably a better goal, but I just loved that second goal because it was kind of a more, more of a Gyökeres goal that we saw on the YouTube compilation that we all fell in love with and thought, right, we've got a player here. So I really like that goal, I have to say, the way he took it on. My low light was the obvious one, the Declan Rice mess up. It just really annoys me. It annoys all of us. It's the only reason we won't win this league. And I'm hoping and praying, and I'm sure we will. But the only reason we may not win this league is because of incidents like that. We can point to, like, there's been somebody posted. There's been 4 goals in 2026 alone that we handed to the opposition. The Bournemouth goal, Saliba passed it to Evan Nielsen.
Gabriel passed it.
Gabriel. Sorry. There was the goal against Wolves the other night. The Declan Rice one tonight. What was the 4th one?
Zubimendi against Man United.
Zubimendi against Man United. And that literally, they're the only reasons we'll not win big silverware this year. And if we just cut that out and let our quality shine, we'll go a long way. So that was my low light.
Yeah, GT14, otherwise known as Gianluca Tabarelli's come on and said it's Arsenal versus Arsenal for the league. It is indeed.
Yeah,
it is indeed. I hear you. The only team that can beat us is ourselves, really. And and look, yeah, you're right. I mean, I had, I'll start with my low light. I had the equaliser, and it seems to be the worst thing that Arsenal can do is take the lead in a game, because then it's guaranteed to let in a goal very quickly afterwards. We did it with Wolves, and we've done it other times. We just and stupid goals. It's done that. And the thing about this was their first, and I wrote it down. It's like, we've got all the possession, we're doing all the work, we're having all the chances. You know what? Tottenham will score with their first chance. They scored with their first chance, their first shot. It was Colin Moani's first goal, in Premier League goal. I think it was their first and only touch in the opposition box in the whole of the first half. It was 122 seconds after our goal. And look, it was uncharacteristic from Rice, so I'm not going to dig him out. But bloody hell, why do we keep doing this way? Giving away leads, it's great. Yeah. So that had to be a low light, because we were so dominant. And they didn't even earn it. They didn't do anything to deserve it. So yeah, that's got to be a clear low light. I'll get to the Gyökeres goals. I'll get to the goals later. But my highlight was not having to listen to Gary Neville. Oh my God, it was joyous. So what I did, and I've had this recommended to me, is that I tuned into the Arsenal feed with Adrian Clark and I don't know the other guys, and it is a bit biased. Oh, look at that! Get the drinks in, and it is a bit biased, and all the rest of it. But it's not Gary Neville, and it's a bit more favourite, and it's not bullshit, and it's not disingenuous, and it's not this. I said it's a bit jingoistic, it's a bit biased. But no, Adrian Clark is a good analyst, and he does decent videos on YouTube, and he knows what he's talking about, ex-Arsenal football and all of that. So yeah, I didn't have to listen to any Gary. Now, I'm going to go back and watch the highlights and make sure I'm listening to what Neville and I can't remember.
I for the first half, I did exactly what you just described. I listened to, but I don't know, and I do it regularly actually in the Bulls game, but it freaked me out. Whatever it was today, I was about 30 to 40 seconds behind, and I was kind of
where were you? What, in the second half?
No, in the first half I was like,
but what they say is, so, and we're off, and that's when you're meant to pause the TV.
No, I don't mean, no, I had them synced. Don't get me wrong, I had them synced. Yeah, but it meant that from the live Sky feed, I was about 30, 40 seconds behind, and I got my phone as well a bit, so I thought, I'm going to hear about a goal before I see it screen. So that's, I need to stop doing the second screen thing watching Arsenal. I need to put my phone away, but I can't help it.
Yeah. By the way, I'm trying to find my plug because my computer's going to go and turn off any second. There we go. Right.
And Gianluca, yes, you're right. These are The Spurs fans' tears in my pint glass.
And
Even Spurs fans' tears are red.
There we go, and they taste absolutely beautiful.
Oh.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful, nice one. I like to see it. So, yeah, so that was a highlight. I mean, I just really was not in the mood to listen to that. Down to a bit of nervousness about the game, obviously, and just because of that, the amount of times we criticised him on here, it's ridiculous. So that was a bit of highlight. There was another highlight. I didn't actually see it, but I heard it in the commentary. Apparently, in the away end, they had a Thomas Frank inflatable.
That's right. I saw that. Yeah.
That was a good highlight. And then I think the third and final highlight, because I'm going to be greedy here, was I think we were singing "You're Getting Sacked in the Morning." So that was very good, like towards the end. So so look, that was good. So look, let's look at some ridiculous match stats. I mean, this must have been the one. The only one that isn't as high as it should be is the XG, but everything else is just ridiculous. So overall, 38% possession to 62, and I'd love to see where that was, but I'd say the majority of it was in their own box and in their own half. 0.5 XG to 1.88. They had 4 shots to our 19. They had 3 on target to our 6. They had no big chances to our 5. We missed 3 big chances. Accurate passes, and I think I'll get to the one in the first half. Overall, they had 202 to whatever. 15 fouls committed. I'm surprised because there was so many more fouls committed by Tottenham that Gyökeres himself should have got, but he didn't have it. But in the first half, they had 70 accurate passes to our 238, which is ridiculous. And I said they had 1 touch in our box to our 29. It was just, other than XG, which in the first half was 0.29 to 1. It was just so dominant. It was incredible. And then second half, they had more possession, but again, I think that was mainly defending. They had 4 shots on target, but I don't remember. But it was just such a dominant performance. So overall, how did you feel about how we played, about the performance, just in general, just about the game, the results, and how do you feel about it?
I thought we were excellent after such a poor showing on Wednesday and a demoralizing dropping of 2 points. I didn't know how we'd react today, and look, the world and its mother knows that there's a gulf in class between Arsenal and Spurs at the moment. Not the moment, always. But at the same time, in North London derbies, you just never know what's going to happen. You just never ever know. And when the game kicked off, I was actually quite relaxed, which I wasn't expecting. I thought I'd be a lot more nervous. And then as the first 10-15 minutes played out, I got even more relaxed because I thought, my lord, these are bad. This was like they were as bad as Wolves were in the first 20 minutes the other night. But then that made me think, Jesus Christ, we better still go on now here and score and beat these. And thankfully we did. So I just thought it was a really good professional performance. I thought there was some really, really encouraging individual performances that I think will stand us in good stead for the run-in now. So yeah, I was very, very happy that we pulled it out compared to Wednesday.
Well, yeah. I mean, other teams we've been dominating, maybe not playing well, but we just need to put teams to the sword, and we did today. And the amount of chances we created, and it was incredible. It was so good to see. Again, it's sorry, Gianluca's just comment just confused. Don't confuse me. Just stop my train of thought. But yeah, it was just so nice to see this, and we did play different. You could see there was a difference in terms of how we were playing. We were getting the ball forward quicker. We were being a bit more direct. We weren't sort of like thinking, first option, go back. And it's not like we were playing risky, but we were playing positively. We were playing with intent. Now look, Tottenham did come out with a bit of intensity. They were pressing, they were pressing us hard, but we also then tried to take advantage of space behind the back. But then they also did drop deep, had 5 in the back, and so it was quite hard to break through them at times. But I just like the intent. Our intent was definitely there. Now the only time we did start to sort of play it around a bit, was just to let's take this thing out of the game. Let's just sort of like reset, it doesn't always have to be gung ho. Sometimes the horseshoe of death, as they call it, or the passing around, is just, let's give ourselves a breather for 30 seconds. Let's just feel the ball. Let's pass the ball. Let's move around, and then we go again. And look, we had to show them why we're top and they're fighting relegation. You know, and it was the pressure, I think, was more on us than them, because, you know, and luckily for them, Forest lost, West Ham only drew yesterday, so I don't think they're getting relegated. I mean, they're very close to it, but I don't think they will. I think they'll be worse teams.
They are, to my mind, at the moment, they're the fourth worst team in the Premier League, I think. Maybe the fifth worst, and it's just down to a bit of luck that they'll stay up. But they are more than capable of going down. Yeah, I just think there's worse teams. Unfortunately, there's worse teams, but we'll see. I get it's unfortunately, they're a bit like us. Forest not taking advantage and West Ham not taking advantage of in advance. But we had to respond to recent performances. City were within 2 points of us after beating Newcastle last night. So the pressure was really on us. And look, they've had a new manager. And apparently his statistics are, in the last 5 appointments that he's had, he's won the first game of every appointment that he's had. He's always won the first game. So, there's a bit of narrative there on all the rest of it. But then when the quality comes onto the pitch and it was just chalk and cheese, and we were just so much better than them. And that, look, Gianluca's here saying, like, the people watching generally didn't think they were that bad until he saw that and now realized why they're worried about relegation. So maybe yes, maybe they do need to worry about relegation. And I'd love to see if they're playing Forest or playing West Ham. I think they played West Ham recently, so maybe not, but maybe playing Forest. That would be like, well, all of a sudden they're playing 6-pointers at the wrong end of the table. So they were really bad. But I don't want to focus too much on them being really bad. I think we were really, really good, and we showed a lot of intent. So in terms of that first half, and I was just got to hear the number of, Timber has a cross, Gyökeres has a header. Then Gyökeres does well, and he did one of his trademarks, run down the channel, steps in, just couldn't curl it enough. Saliba has a header that goes just wide after a corner, and then we do get the opener in the 32nd minute. Saka, who in the first half had Spence on toast, again received the ball, got past Spence, crossed it in, and it sort of ran up, Eze's leg, and he did really well to get over the ball and volley it in from close range. So did well to hook it in. So well deserved. 100% well deserved. The only surprise for me was that we hadn't scored sooner, and Spurs were at 6s and 7s, but we arsenaled ourselves.
Go on, tell it. What happened then after? So 122 seconds later, then what happened?
Well, I'll be honest with you. When we scored and the celebrations were on, I took the opportunity to run out and grab another beer. And in the time it took me to go out to the fridge, to be fair, I watched the replays and all that kind of stuff. And I went out to the fridge, got a beer, and came back in. I didn't waste any time in there. And I came back in, and Colm Moani's like right in front of our goal and shoots and scores. And I thought, what the hell's after happening? And then I saw the replay. Declan Rice, one of the stalwart warts of the season, just has a brain fart. Like, he's down in our corner. He gets the ball. He does well to regain possession, as he always does. And he should know better than to try and beat a player there. That's the moment you hoof it up the line and get rid. You've just scored a goal. You've worked hard. You got your goal. Don't do anything stupid. But as is our want at the moment, we go and do something stupid. And it reminded me when you texted the other night when that kid, the 16-year-old kid, came on for his Premier League debut. Before the match, literally they came up on the screen that Colm Moani hadn't scored or assisted in 18 Premier League games.
You knew it was coming.
And I was like, oh my God. And do you know what? I'm raging I didn't, because I nearly texted you to say, here we go again. Here's another one. I was going to take a screenshot of on the TV. Yeah. And then he scores with their first touch in the box. Like, you couldn't make it up. At the moment.
You think, come on, have we not learned anything? The whole point is learning. And someone like Rice, who's like one of the, who's been our best player recently, I'd suggest, and one of the driving forces of trying to get us forward, get us points, and all the rest of it. So, yeah, you're right. You just clear it. Yeah, just boot it and go again. But it didn't happen, and there we go. We've got here Christian Sidhu saying, "Come on, Gunners!" Made a statement today. Now we have to build. Yeah, indeed we do. We came off the boil after the statement win against Villa. Can't let it happen again. And that was 4-1 against Villa. So yeah, we can't let that happen again. Momentum. Let's build on it. And then the rest of the second half, I think we had a couple of chances. There was the ball over the top. Big chance for Saka, but Vicario blocks it, and then Trossard, I think, had a shot that just crept wide. It's sort of like looked for all the life of it going in, and then just went the wrong side of the post. I think it took a flick underneath the defender, but yeah, I think Vicario actually had one of his better days. He was quite a busy chap, and we didn't really put him under pressure in the corners, which is normally his weak spot, but he did make some good saves and came out quick. So I think, okay, 1-1 at half time. It's just a case of, again, show who you are, be dominant, keep pressing, keep doing what you're doing, and the goals should come. So, Gianluca's asking a question here, and Tottenham do have to play Forest, but not West Ham. There was the incident, I think, was it the first half with Gabriel and Colomorani, with a sort of ball over the top. Now, neither player was getting it, but Gabriel then moves across Colomorani and sort of inadvertently takes him out. I don't know. I think I know what he's doing. I don't think it's enough because the ball is not going anywhere near him. So I don't think, what was worse yesterday was like the Bernardo Silva one on.
I think that's the incident he's talking about. That was a potential foul by Gabriel on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Was Gabriel lucky to get away with that one? I don't think it was a foul. I think they're both running for it. I think maybe if anyone's at fault, then that was it. Yeah, but not enough to be overturned. Are you talking? Maybe Gianluca, you can do that. You meant for the 2-2 goal, not that one. Well, we'll get to that. All right, wait, just wait. We haven't got to the best game of the match yet. Best goal of the match yet. Yes, we'll get to that one. So look, second half, you say, look, let's be dominant. Let's take our chances, and then, well, it wasn't much of a chance, but bloody hell, this was like I made the wife and the dog jump, who for some reason were in the same room as me watching an Arsenal Tottenham game, and sort of, Timber plays it across the area. Eze stepped over it, maybe not, who knows? And then Gyökeres takes a touch, and then whack, whatever it is. What a shot! What a goal! It's what we want from him, as well as run down the channels and do what he did for the second goal. This was just glorious, and everyone's saying, oh, he only scores against the lower clubs and all the rest of it. What a statement goal! Just loved it.
Well, he did score against one of the lower clubs today as well.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess. I think they meant promoted teams. Leeds and Burnley and whatnot.
So if he scored against Spurs in 2 seasons' time, he'll score against promoted club again.
Well, that's assuming Spurs go back up.
Well, that's very true, actually. Yeah, double relegation, 2 relegations in a row.
But what a game! And let's have a word on Gyökeres, because I think you said it was one of his best games in an Arsenal shirt. I'm the same. I think on the Arsenal channel they were calling him man of the match. I don't know who got the Sky man of the match, but
it was Gyökeres. Neville gave it to Gyökeres.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he was superb, and I thought he was. Again, he never gets any fouls against him. Now, people are complaining he's not winning 50-50s. But I think a lot of the time he's just being fouled and pulled left, right, and centre, and there should have been, it wasn't until like the 70th, 80th minute when was it? There was a yellow card for finally 86th minute, finally a free kick against Gyökeres and a yellow card. He was putting himself about, challenging for the ball, wasn't really winning the duels, but he was just making such a nuisance, making really good runs. He had shots. He scored 2 fantastic goals, 2 very different goals, atypical of what we want from him. Yeah, I think what a great all-round performance, and I'm really pleased they stayed on for the whole game as well. Normally get subbed off, because I think he's got bags of energy. I think he can last the whole game, and it's often, I think we don't defend as well when he's not on the pitch. So yeah, what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, I just on him not getting fouls, I think that the Premier League or the PGMOL seem to have this thing about what do they call it, mutual grabbing or something, or mutual and Gyökeres does do that, where he'll like, when the ball's in the air coming down, he'll pin himself to the defender, and he will. So like the referee in these instances will look at that and say, right, okay, they're both doing it. Whereas that's not always the case. So it means that when he's actually genuinely being fouled, the referee says, oh, it's another one of these mutual holding situations. So that's why I don't think he gets as many free kicks as he should. But yeah, I just thought all around he was really good. Even, do you know what this is going to sound silly, but the one thing he did today that I absolutely loved was his little touch for the Eze goal, the second Eze goal, when he played it into Gyökeres, or it was played into Gyökeres, and Gyökeres, the ball should have been just cleared by the defender, and he just stuck a toe out. He held the defender off, and he stuck a toe out, played it to Eze, who then played it to Saka. And if you go back and watch it, I just thought it was just a really clever little. He showed a bit of strength. Like some people say, well, he should do that, but I don't know what it was. It's stuff that we haven't seen from him so far. Like that has led to goals, and yeah, like his hold of play, his little runs down the wing, he was really, and he fully deserved.
Yeah, indeed, and then so again, just don't bloody concede, all right? That's it. Just don't concede. 2-1, don't concede. And again, we were just dominant. So again, we were dominant, and again, so like Eze does really well. I thought we were going to get the third. He sort of loads of space down the left hand side. Was that the one when he nutmegged the defender? Yeah. Nutmeg the defender, and a proper nutmeg, because he collected it on the other side. If you don't collect it, it's not a nutmeg, and I'm not going to hear another word against that. And then he drives into the box from open space, and then steps inside and just has his shot blocked. So that could have been the third, and that would have really killed them off. And then we have now here we are, Gianluca, who said that was Gyökeres' best performance in an Arsenal shirt. So I can't remember too much what happened. Yeah, cross comes in. Colomani there puts two hands on Gabriel's back. Gabriel falls over and does make a bit of a meal of it, but it's about momentum. It's about where your weight is. So it doesn't. Sometimes if you're leaning forward, and you're just about to jump forward, it doesn't matter how much pressure there is on your back, you will fall over. The ball falls to Morani, puts him from close range, but the referee gave the foul. So for me, that's a clear foul. It doesn't have to be a hard push, just enough to get the player, leverage the player out of the way, especially because it's two hands. If it's just one hand, it's a bit different, because it's just two clear hands outstretched. That's a foul. And
I think Gabriel did well to go down there. They said it in commentary, and I fully agreed, should I say, what they were saying. It was Neville. It's very, very rare that I agree with him, but he did say that had Gabriel not gone down, the referee might not have given that. Yeah, because it was a subtle push, but it was a push just as Gabriel was about to jump. Yeah, it was, in many ways, it was the perfectly timed push, and yeah, like it was a foul. It was a foul. You put two hands on a player's back. If that happens in the middle of the pitch, it's a free kick. So no difference there. Just because it led to a goal, there's a bit more kind of controversy around it. But no, I think it was a foul.
Yeah, and that was only 5-6 minutes after he scored. So God, is this another one? Well, I missed it as well, because I was I just had to go to the toilet at the time, so I was like, but I didn't because I was just about to, and then I heard something. Right, I rushed back, and okay. But anyway, it wasn't a goal, so fair enough. We'd stay 2-1, and then I think a really sensible substitution, and this is maybe where we are learning. We take Timber off in the 57th minute. Mosquera comes on. Whether he's knackered, I suggest it's more in the yellow. There was a moment before there where a player was running across the pitch and he was sort of grappling a bit, not enough to foul, but I just think, and also as Timber knackers towards the end of the game, like the 80th minute, 70th minute, 80th minute, you're starting to hold onto players, you're starting to lunge. It's not like he was a yellow card waiting to happen because he was reckless. It was just a yellow card waiting to happen just because of tiredness. So for me, I hope that's what it is rather than any sort of injury. But I think one of Arteta's sort of more sensible subs. Yeah. So do you think it was knackeredness or yellow?
I think it was a combination of both. Like as you said, tiredness can lead to kind of rash tackle. Like the first yellow, I know it was early on in the game. It wasn't through tiredness, but it was from him chasing the ball that he gave away, and easily the same thing could have happened again where the ball's played over the top or whatever, and he's chasing. Like we all know, Timber has probably played far too many minutes this season for Arsenal, and for a team that's playing every few days, that's going to take its toll on a player. And if it was a player that needed a break, like this is why I still can't believe that he started on Wednesday. I like that was the mistake. If he rests him on Wednesday, I think they'll play.
But look, if White's not in the team, maybe that's the reason why. So it's an odd one, but anyway. So and look,
one was available on Wednesday.
Yeah, I guess he was. Yeah, so interesting that he wasn't there today. And look, Mosquera came on and was really good at right back. He was superb. He came in, made some really good challenges. Was no issue. It actually was part. I think was he actually followed on from that. There was like in the 60th minute, as Mosquera wins it, and then it ends up with Eze and Saka combining, and Saka's in, and he has a right foot under pressure, which again saved by Vicario straight at him. But again, good play, cutting Tottenham apart. They just could not handle us. And then 2 minutes later, and this is where you could just see Eze growing into the game, and he grew into that second half. The first half, I think it was relatively quiet, and it was just a game that he grew into. I don't think he did a huge amount other than score the goal, which is still important, but I don't think he offered a huge amount, but he just seemed to grow into it. And you could see, like, beginning of the second half, he was sort of involved, getting, I think, a lot more involved, and maybe like at half time, look, he was involved in the Gyökeres goal, and he's involved in a run that he almost scores, and he's involved in the Saka chance. And then he goes and intercepts the ball in the middle of the park, plays it to Saka, and Saka was tackled as he was about to shoot. The ball comes to Eze, and he fires home. And what I liked was that for once we got a break of the ball in the box in that scenario, because even today we weren't getting the break of the ball, but in recent weeks against us, the ball seems to, like the Wolves game, when the ball breaks to the way it breaks to their player, or even going back to Buendia scoring against Villa in the last minute, the way it break balls to them. So it was about time the ball broke to us, and we take advantage. So lovely goal, really happy for him, and he loves playing Tottenham. Was that it? Game over?
Yeah.
Did you feel?
Yeah, I did, because I know what happened on Wednesday happened, but I just didn't get the same vibe tonight. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that sounds silly because it literally just happened a few days ago.
Yeah.
But I trusted, maybe foolishly, but I trusted that we learned our lesson the other night, and that we wouldn't let it happen again. Now, we came very close. David Raya made one of the saves of the season off the line, but I did feel at 3-1, like it was weird. At 2-0 the other night against Wolves, bottom half, or bottom of the table Wolves, I wasn't comfortable because of the way we were playing.
Yeah.
But even though it was the same lead, it's the same 2-goal lead against Tottenham, I felt comfortable because we were playing really well. And
Wolves played better than Tottenham. Wolves were playing
100% he did, 100%.
So much more. So look, and then I think we just continue. I think that was the right thing to do. Like, I wasn't counting any chickens, just because being here, done that. Doesn't matter how good we're playing, shit happens.
Yeah,
and shit happens all the time. But we were in control. We weren't giving them anything. But I'm still like, okay, let's not count anymore. And Trossard then has a shot wide from outside the box. Saka has a shot, side into the side netting again after good work by Eze. Then we start olaying it, which is okay, fine, but the olays were a bit.
The olays in injury time, or when you're 2 or 3 up, like.
Yeah, then 3-1 up. So then we make a couple of good subs, Odegaard and Martinelli on for Trossard and Eze. I think sensible. It'd be great, romantic to keep Eze on, see if he can get another hat trick. But I think legs, Odegaard was running around a lot, again a bit more control, and Martinelli as an outlet, and just sort of for his legs. Then there was a flare on the pitch, a Spurs flare on the pitch, which I think was the most flare that Tottenham had shown all day. So
I saw somebody say that whoever picked up that flare had more touches in the Arsenal box than most of the Spurs players.
Absolutely. What I wasn't hoping for was that the extra minutes as a result of that then impacting the game, and like, you know, you can imagine, but as I said, all they need is one goal to get into it, get the crowd up. We get nervous. How's your metal? And it almost came, and I'm not too sure how it happened, but it sort of came through. I was across, and Richarlison does a sort of behind the leg flick. I think it goes through the legs of someone. Actually, no, it goes through Raya's legs, and then he dives cat-like back and just claws it away with the fingertips off the line, and then just the reach, and then to be able to have the power to not knock it back in, but knock it across, and then we had players covering it. But yeah, and that was an 84, and there was 7 minutes of added time, so that would have been like another 13 minutes. That would have been very squeaky, the squeakiest bum times.
It would have been, yeah. I actually think that I could be wrong, but I think the Richarlison flick, I think, takes a nick off the Arsenal defender. Not sure who, and that's why it kind of goes through Raya. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's what I think what happens. Yeah, you're right. Had that gone in, all the memories of Wednesday and all the memories of the games that we've threw away. I was going to use a different word there. That we threw away, would have flooded back, and we would have retreated and retreated and retreated. But thankfully,
and look, he can't stop a shot from 25 yards, but he can dive and claw. The reactions, the reactions of a cat.
He's lower to the ground. He's not the tallest, so he's get the ground shots, but not the ones over his head.
Yeah, exactly. Donnarumma ain't saving that. So
no.
So there we go. And then some concerns over Saka, maybe a shin injury. It's hard to tell with him, because I got a bit of stick for this, because he does scream a lot and then gets up.
Yeah,
and he does hobble a lot, and again does amazing things. So we did take him off Madueke on. It looks sore. I think it'll be one of those ones that once the adrenaline wears off, it'll be really sore tomorrow. But we've got a whole week now until Chelsea, so hopefully it's nothing. I don't know, if I haven't heard anything since or anything about that. So
when it happened, I cringed and I texted Mitch our injury set.
Yeah, Mitch, what's up with him? Come on, tell us quick.
Tell me quick. But it looked, because his leg got it's one of those that could have been who was it that actually against Spurs did their ACL when he scored the goal? Oh, it was Isaac, wasn't it? Was Isaac?
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah, Isaac for
it was one of those where the leg got caught underneath Saka's leg, and if you watch the replay, especially from behind, it looked as though his leg went under and his ankle twisted one way. Yeah. So I thought, oh my god, that has all.
I think Isaac did I think it was a fracture. I think it was a fracture. Yeah.
Because Saka, when he was holding his leg, was holding his shin.
Yeah.
So I thought, God, is that another one of those fractures? But then, and Mitch replied to me saying, he said, I'm actually very worried, because he had a rough by 10. But as we were texting each other, Saka stood up, and now he got taken off, but it was a great sign.
Did he do a little Irish jig? Oh, he's fine.
He's fine. The thing is, when it comes to Saka, and Martinelli does it a lot, when Saka went down, he put his arm up and he was waving it like his leg was broke. And so you don't know. You genuinely don't know. A lot of players, it's not just Arsenal players who do it, but a lot of players do it. So you never know how badly injured they are.
Yeah, indeed. But fingers crossed, we'll find out more once the swelling goes down. But yeah, it looks painful. And then the cherry on the icing on the delicious red velvet cake was Gyökeres. Odegaard finds Gyökeres, keeps his feet, holds off the defender well. I think the defender was half-assed, to be honest. I don't think he was putting everything into that challenge, because it was 3-1.
No.
Yeah, but I'm not going to take it away. But he comes in, down the left-hand channel, cuts across, and then finishes well from close range. So again, a sort of trademark Gyökeres goal, and now I can finally start counting those chickens, and we can relax. The 95th minute is when I start to okay, that's fine. Pack my things up, start preparing for the pod. So, and then game over, and I might need to go back and just watch what was like after match, and just soak it all soak it all in. I mean, it's a glorious evening. Like, the wife is cooking a lovely lasagna, and I can't wait to eat that. And I got some Arsenal to watch and rewatch and watch it again. So looking forward to that. So yeah. So other than Gyökeres and we touched on, is there anyone else that stood out for you? Anyone else that was like, yeah, who stood out, and who was your man? Did you say Gyökeres was your man of the match?
Yeah, for me, he got it on Sky, and I did Adrian give it to him as well?
I think they did. Yeah. They did. Yeah.
Who else stood out? Well, I thought Rice, aside from his boo boo, was his usual self, mopping up things. Yeah, our defense was solid. Like, it's hard against a poor team like Spurs because everybody kind of look good, you know.
Yeah, but we made them look really poor.
Yeah,
I'm going down that trap route.
Yeah, I thought Gabriel and Saliba were excellent as a defensive centre back pairing. Yeah, I mean, I think all of them, all around.
Yeah, all of them, 10 out of 10. Yeah, I thought I'll take one off for Rice for screwing up, but there we go. But Raya now seemed confident. He was claiming balls and not dropping them, which is good for a goalkeeper. But that eases the pressure. And the fact that he does that, it just takes it easy. I think Hincapié is turning into a really solid player. Not such a threat, but just like he seems like part of the furniture in the back foot. Yeah, Saliba and Gabriel doing really well, doing their stuff. I think Bryce and Zubimendi were dovetailing really well. Rice that's Rice intercepting there. Oh, that's Rice picking up the ball there. Oh, that's Rice doing that. Oh, Rice, get out the corner and kick the ball away really far. Don't just play around with it. Saka had Spence on toast. Timber was okay. I think he was fine. I did notice that it felt like we had our attackers in the attacking positions, and we did have a bit less of. I think maybe Hincapié was more. Timber was getting in the way isn't quite right, but Timber wasn't in those positions as much as we've seen in the past, and I think it gave a bit of breathing space for Saka, for Eze, for Gyökeres and stuff. So I think that was good. Trossard, a bit hit and miss, some really good moments. I think some really good diligent defensive work, some chances, but then a little bit off. But again, not going to knock anything. And then the subs did exactly what they were meant to do, and that was superb. So yes, North London is red by the tune of 8-2 this season, which is ridiculous, which is incredible and great fun.
And that will only increase when we get them in the semi-finals of the Champions League.
It's one game at a time. So in terms of the Premier League, that puts us back to 5 points clear. It helps the goal difference. So we're on plus 35 to because we were equal on goal difference. So we've got plus 35 to City's plus 31.
Their win yesterday brought them to within one goal of us.
Oh, was it within one goal of us? Okay.
So
because we let in, so we got +3 today. Okay, so again, it's fine, and for me, I think I said it before, or I said it after the City game. It's an 11-game season now, yeah, and we've got a 2-goal head start and a 2-point head start and a 1-goal head start. That's it. That's what we're dealing with now. 11-game season, 1 goal ahead, 2 points ahead. What do you got, Arsenal? And they've now laid down a little bit of a caveated marker there, but fantastic. So yeah, all we can do is win, and we move on to Chelsea next weekend, who will be without Fofana, and that they again, excuse me. No one's talking about Chelsea, who spent billions and billions on about 5 wingers, and they draw at home to Burnley after being 1-0 up. It's just not an interesting narrative, so no one even goes there, and it's funny how they just go under the radar out of all the money that's spent, and like they're on 45 points. They've lost 6 games, this season, only won 12, drawn 9, and stuff like that. So they're, again, that should be a game. Won't be easy, but we should be winning. But we'll have a podcast about that towards the end of the week. So let's get to your 3-word reviews, and while I go and try and find the correct social. So do you have a 3-word review?
Yeah, I have 2 3-word reviews, if I'm allowed.
Yeah, you can have as many as you want. There we go.
The first one is Tottenham get battered. My second is even at home.
Even at home. Okay, very good. Right.
By the way, as you're looking there, do you remember it was mentioned a while ago that Spurs were only had 7 less defeats, around 7 or 8 less defeats at their new stadium that they moved into in 2019 than we've had at the Emirates, even though we moved in 2006, 13 years earlier. Surely they've surpassed us now. I haven't seen anybody mention it.
I don't think I don't think
if that happened, they've lost at least 7. At least. Now we lost against Man United, but surely they've surpassed us now.
I think it's close. I don't think quite. Not yet, but I think it'll be close. It's the tipping point will not be that far away. But yeah, that's quite a ridiculous statistic, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
Fortress toilet bowl. I mean, if you're gonna make it look like a toilet seat from the above, all you can do is be shit inside it. That's all I can say on that one. That's all I can say on that one. Okay, right, on to your 3 reviews. So on so let me just. Okay, right, yes. So from Blue Sky, Cheech, who's a fellow Italian but also South African. We needed that. We did indeed. Okay, on to the threads. Sam 13 draws all worked out, and look, it certainly did. I mean, if you're looking at the difference between having Eze on your team or Xavi Simons, it's just it sums up the two teams. And look, yeah, I feel happy for Eze because he's, everyone was really, we were so excited when he joined, and he was so excited, and I think we haven't been able to find a spot for him. And actually, his best time actually before now, was when Odegaard was out. We were struggling for injuries. Marino was up front, and we had no choice, so he had to play, and he was playing regularly. He scored the 3 against Tottenham, 1 against Palace, and it's and then sort of since the Villa game where he let Matty Cash go, sort of been a bit in and out, on and off. So, and maybe there's a bit of imposter syndrome there. Maybe he's used to being a big fish in a small pond. Now he's like amongst many other big fishes. So, yeah, let's hope. Look, I'm not going to say, right, this is going to change his trajectory for the rest of the season and he's going to be amazing. But I just think maybe if we decide to maybe be a bit more positive, play him up as as off the second striker, a bit more further forward, have Rice and Zubimendi more of a double pivot there, then and Eze is more central, which you look today, then I think maybe again, I'm not Odegaard comes in, he'll do a job in certain matches. Eze comes in, he'll do a certain job. But I think it's having Eze and that front man like they did with Saka on one side and Trossard on the other. I think it just seemed to all work out. So I like that. And
nice. Well, nicely done.
Nicely done. Paul Latham, Digny 18, Arsenal mash spuds. He always comes in with a very good pun. Paul, well done for that one. Yan Han 10, London is red, certainly is. Groovy Cathers too. I like these subtle ones. That was nice. Manu Duck, Victor on fire. He certainly was. Chapter's Delight. Lads, it's Tottenham. Robin Kent SF, total dominance again. The Maya car. Eze owns Spuds, certainly does. And DJ Boocat, all for one, indeed. And I'll respond to that with 1 for all. Okay, dubs for Sam, your mate and mine. Tottenham in disguise. They're so bad that we call it "Are you Tottenham in disguise?" So brilliant. That is very cool. All right, and on to the Grove.
Pads.
Yes.
As you're going there with all this beer I'm having, I have to very quickly. I know we're live. I have to go and have a wee. So you.
Oh my word!
Word reviews.
I'll do the 3 word reviews very slowly. So there we go. Really quick. So there you go. Your 3 word review. Need a piss. All right.
Yes.
So Fraser, point gap back. It is indeed. Matt Stacey, 3-point lane. It is indeed. And then Normie, London is red. Yeah, nice one. Normie is indeed. Owen is a Sunday afternoon. Yes, it was. There we go. And then Alice there comes from Sweden. Okay, what else we got? Okay, And there we Tom Tudor Cinema Club. Not too sure what that refers to, but nice one. So yeah. So there we go. So I don't have toilet music, by the way. I need to find toilet music. I'm gonna have to cut that out of the main pod. Right. Anyway, he's back. Back. Anyway,
I did wash my hands.
You did wash your hands. So sorry, we've done that. So yeah, some very good free reviews there. So thank you very much for that. And look, what can we say? That was fun. That was enjoyable. North London is massively red. Tottenham are shit. It's like, yeah. Any final words or thoughts? I mean, it's gonna, as I said, 11 games to go. Is that now 10 games to go? Shit, 10 games to go. That's a great lead into that. If we could just repeat that every week, we're winning the league.
Well, my final thought is I know it was only Spurs, and I know they're really bad, but I still think we played very well. And if we can maintain that level of performance while cutting out the Declan Rice / Raya / Gabriel style mistakes, we'll be fine. So yeah, I took a lot of encouragement, and as one of the guys here said earlier on, that if we can, you mentioned Christian Sidiou said that if we had a statement win against Villa and we can't let it happen again, us dropping off, and we need to build on today. We need to take it to the next level, and we're more than capable. So tonight was, I think, a huge boost, because tonight could have gone wrong. It could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
And thankfully it didn't.
No, the narrative was there, but narrative doesn't play football and doesn't score bangers from the edge of the box. So yeah, he's more like a Tottenham defender, if you ask me. But there we go. Let's enjoy the good moments. We've not had many good moments recently. It's been a bit of a grind, so we've got to really, enjoy these. And look, maybe imagine we beat Wolves and drawn against Tottenham, like, what we'd have thought differently. But yeah, whatever. So football is dumb. The way things work are dumb. Look, Brentford going to lose 2-0 at home to Brighton. That doesn't mean that they weren't very good against us and that they didn't deserve their point. It's just that that's the way it goes. The variance of football. And any given day, any team can beat someone. Over the course of the season, that determines who the best teams are. And currently, we are the best team in the league. We've proven the best team in Europe. We're in the Carabao Cup final. We're in FA Cup final. So football changes very quickly.
Yeah.
You can go very up, very down very quickly, and it's all very understandable. Let's just keep it calm, which we won't. Stick together. And I'm sure we'll have our disagreements, but it could be a good season. And let's hope that we can look back on this season and that beating Tottenham 4-1 twice is like on the cover of the end of season DVD. Yes.
And even like kind of, I don't want to get into the fixtures, but I know we have a very tough game kind of on paper next week against Chelsea, but Man City have, in my opinion, a really tough game away at Leeds, who are playing very well at the moment. 5:30 kickoff under the lights at Elland Road.
Yeah.
Now City could go on and beat them 4-0. Who knows? But I just have a feeling something might happen in that game. So look, all to play for.
Indeed. Okay. Well, thank you, Ian, for joining me on this very joyous, stupendous, happy pod. Appreciate your thoughts.
You're very welcome. Before I go, I just need to taste one or two last downstairs. Hang on. So nice. Yeah, you're very welcome, Tabs. It was a pleasure. It's always great to talk about a North London derby victory.
Indeed. And tell people where they can find you and what you do.
You will find me at Art Cannon Pics on all the socials. Just send me a pic of your cannon anywhere in the world. We're absolutely flying it. I have some cool cannons coming up, some cool milestones actually coming up.
Very good.
So yeah.
And mine one was early this week, so I like, and it's nuts. I like how your backlog's going, but it was good to that's a nice reminder.
If you send me a cannon today, it'd be 2.5 to 3 months before it can be posted, which is incredible. It's more to say about the support I get on the page than anything else. But keep them coming, boys and girls.
There we go. Good stuff. Thank you for that. All right. You can follow us at The Grove AFC on Blue Sky Threads, Instagram, TikTok. We have a YouTube channel. And then we also the podcast on Spotify and Apple. So, and if whilst you're there, if you can give us a nice little 5-star rating, some comments, leave a review, give us a subscribe. We do notice it. We do appreciate it. It does make a difference, and it helps us get into the ears of those who are less fortunate than yourselves. So, and look, thank you if you've been on the stream, or if you're going to watch at a later date, if you've been commenting and stuff, appreciate it. Thank you for your 3-word reviews. I said the next pod will be pre-Chelsea on Thursday. We'll also have a bit of a look at the run-in with some predictions as to how the season's going to go. And yes, so thank you for listening. North London is oh so red. And until the next time, come on you Gunners.